The Pittsburgh Pirates have been one of the biggest laughingstocks in MLB history for the last couple of years here. Ever since the 2019 All-Star break collapse, they have been a utter train wreck of a team. They cannot field the ball. They cannot hit the ball. They don't know what taking a pitch is. They don't know perfect base, how to run the bases.
Line drive into right, and
They don't even know what a pitch is.
Gonna wave in the runner, Tess Newbar.
And let's just say,
And a throw down to third, and it hits the
throw
runner.
ball, and then you can just
And
get
they
out of
give
the
the Cardinals
inning
a favor.
by tagging on
The
the
tag
first
applied by
base.
Kisner. Throw behind the runner
They
at
would not
second.
do that. They instead would run toward the batter and then throw at home, causing the person to score at home, and then the guy who was easily going to be out at first to get all the way to second base. Yeah, this team has been one of the worst teams that anyone has ever seen. And if you watch the Pirates, you know, last couple years, they have been one of the worst teams I have ever seen. Like, they just don't even know what they're doing out there. And by the end of the 2022 season, the only thing the Pirates fans had hope to look for was toward O'Neal Cruz, because that dude looks like a literal beast, just smacking balls and literally destroying them out of the yard, making insane plays. Literally, he was the only hope for the Pittsburgh Pirates going into the 2023 offseason. And by the end of the 2022 season, this team was basically nicknamed and called this.
This is a hodgepodge of nothingness.
Then came the 2023 offseason, where the Pirates did something a little strange. They actually went out and got people. First, they went out and they traded for G-Man Choi, the first baseman from the Tampa Bay Rays. An actual baseball player. Not a clown, an actual baseball player who hits home runs. Then, they went out and they got a veteran face to help out the young guys in legendary Cleveland first baseman Carlos Santana. Another good move and uncharacteristic by the Pirates. Then, they actually went out and got some MLB quality pitching. Not great quality pitching, but actual MLB pitchers. In Vince Velasquez and Jelene Garcia. More good moves by the Pirates. Then the Pirates traded a notorious bad shortstop Kevin Newman for a reliever in Dauri Moreo from the Reds. Remember that name. By this point here, the Pittsburgh Pirates had a very good yet underrated offseason by this point. But GM Ben Sherrington wanted to do one more thing to really help get a good amount of veteran talent to help out these young guys who are about to get called up. And you know what he did? He brought him back. He signed Andrew McCutchen back to the Pirates on a one-year deal with the possibility of him being here for more than 1 year. To this point, all the Pirates fans are jumping up and down and screaming out of utter joy. And you can't even blame him. Granted, McCutchen isn't at his peak 2013 MVP form, but he is still a very good MLB player to say the least. And not only that, but his personality should be the exact kind of person to help lead these young young prospects back to the being relevant players and a relevant team in the MLB.
The pitch.
And after an up and down spring
Love to see
training
that.
for the
First
Pittsburgh
strikeout of the
Pirates,
season for Mitch Keller.
a lot of
Not a good
fans
place
were
to
not
hit
exactly
if you
sure
can't
what
get a
to
good
think
play.
One
about
ball,
the
two
upcoming
strikes on
season.
Benson, and
Granted, there was
Hedges
a lot
was the
of
one that
promise
threw to
finally with
first.
this
The
team
Pirates
that they may
catcher,
actually
and
be
a swing
decent
and a
and
miss.
get hopefully
Strikeout.
70 wins.
First and second, 2 outs for
But
the
on the
Reds.
other
1-1
hand,
tie.
they had a
Pitch.
pretty
Swing
bad
and a miss.
spring
He struck
training,
him
so
out
there
on
was a
a
lot of
curveball,
questions
and that ends
coming
the
into
inning.
this season.
Here's the pitch.
And
he'll
before
get
it
the call this
began,
time.
they
Strike three
lost
call.
JT Bruback,
Myers has
one of
struck out
their
twice.
better starting pitchers,
Had
to a
really
Tommy
trouble
John
getting
surgery.
the next man out.
So
He
they
comes
were
back
only
and
down
gets
in
Benson
the
here.
rotation and also in the bullpen pretty good.
Oh man, what
Garcia,
a
the
job
big
that was.
left-hand
After the
pitching
home run, he gets Benson and
free
makes
agent talk.
Barrero
Also,
look silly.
going on IL to start the
On
season,
opening day. The pitch.
as
Swing
they
and a
would
miss.
also
He
start
struck
their
him out.
season
He
here
threw
against their
97
former
past
foes,
Friedel
the
for out number
Cincinnati
one.
Reds.
Everything, and
The Pirates then start off in Cincinnati,
Drive to right field.
winning the
This is
first
gonna
in
tie
the home
game.
opener
How about an
5-4,
opening day cruise
with Mitch
whistle
Keller looking like a
on a
stud on
3-2
the mound,
pitch.
finally living up to his
O'Neal
expectations
Cruz ties
when
it
he
at
was
1.
first called up.
Everybody.
However, the
Getting used to
Pirates
it.
then
Another strikeout
dropped the next two
for
to
Hill.
the Cincinnati Reds,
Another strikeout for Myers
with Rich
against
Hill
him.
and Vince Velasquez not living up to what the expectations
And gets him looking. So he strikes
However,
out.
there was a lot of hope throughout the series, as all three games were winnable for
Comes
the
back and
Pirates
gets India.
by that point, and a lot of
Here's a
talent was
1-2 from
starting
the
to
side.
really
Late
come
swing and a
out
miss. Myers
and
down
make
on
big
strikes
plays for them.
again.
Specifically
And that's
in
4
some young
strikeouts.
guys like
Make
Dowie
it 5
Morea,
for Rich Hill.
O'Neal Cruz showing up a little bit,
Got him looking.
G1 Bay, and Carlos Santana starting to, and obviously Andrew McCutcheon, of course, starting to
And
lead the
strike
charge and
3
hopefully
called.
get
He
this
gets a
team
call there.
back on track. And of course, next up came the Boston series. Good old Boston. If you don't recall, this team may or may not have used this when playing the Pirates last year, used this little slogan to describe our team.
And now Brian Reynolds puts a charge into
Hodge
one deep
Podge
to right
of
center
nothing.
field. Do we have another?
Boston,
We do.
that's what
Clear the
you
deck.
are. And trust me, we'll probably have separate videos just for you
Company's on
guys
fire.
pretty soon here, but jeez, this was an awful series. You literally just got clobbered by the Pirates. And you know what, as a Pirates fan, what this really shows? This was when this team really started to grow. You could tell right from this point here that they started to become a team. Going down pretty much to like 5-2 in the first game to rallying to win by multiple runs. This is when this team started to form. And boy, has it kept getting better since this point. And this is the point right here where the Pirates torn from league laughingstock to one of the most feared teams in the league somehow. Just in this one series. Let's be real. If you're going into Fenway and you sweep the Red Sox, that's something huge. And they took that momentum straight into their home opener against the White Sox too. And in that White Sox series, the Pirates played out and they played hard for that series. That home opening game, I actually personally attended it to see Andrew McCutcheon return. You could tell just the way the fans will move while there, and that's everything that was going on, that this was a different team. And boy, did they play in that game. They fought, they struggled, they went down in the first. Rich Hill struggled at the beginning. But you know what they did? They didn't quit. They had multiple places in which they were scoring runs. Brian Reynolds, O'Neal Cruz, Andrew McCutcheon, and Carlos Santana, all these guys, G1 Bay, came out of nowhere, and they have been leading this team for the most part. And they took 2 out of 3 against the White Sox in pretty much dominant fashion. However, O'Neal Cruz got hurt in the final game against the White Sox. What for most teams would be a crushing blow and end their seasons, the Pirates turned it into more of a reason to resolve together, and they continue to pound wins. Even to this point, as of the recording of this video, they have been 7-3 since the Cruz injury, an injury that probably should have ended their good luck here, yet they've only gotten better. And this continued through multiple series, including the Rockies and the Red series, where they literally destroyed and salted the earth of both teams that got in their way. The only team that caused them a little bit of problem was the Astros. And let's be real here, as a Pirates fan, if you're taking 3 out against the Astros, that's considered lucky compared to what it's been in the past. This team just scores from wherever they need to be. They are a team with many young players and veterans who just come out and play. This team is not just one guy winning. It's like 5 different guys. Brian Hayes and Zach Sawinski since the Rockies series have been literally salting the earth with their batting. Literally smashing dingers and doubles, both of them, to the point it's like they finally reached their full potential with the bat, it seems. Brian Reynolds has caught off a little bit, but still has been very good so far. Andrew McCutcheon has come up clutch when needed, because clutch happens. Carlos Santana has basically done the exact same thing as Cutch. Basically coming in clutch when needed to be coming clutch. G-Man Choi, before he got hurt, was doing what he could do best and smashing dingles. G1 Bay, even though he caught off a little bit, is still out there making fabulous plays. Rodolfo Castro, in the wake of Oneil Cruz's injury, has stepped up and has literally provided a great amount of offensive potential, even though it's not equal to Cruz's, has been definitely, suffice to say, enough to keep the Pirates in this thing. And then the bullpen. Let's get into the bullpen here. A unit we all thought would be totally terrible and have massive issues has right now turned out to be one of the best bullpens in the MLB. Literally, most of these guys, other than Dwayne Underwood and Chase DeYoung, have been lights out. Dario Moreta, the guy the Reds traded for Kevin Newman for, has been lights out and looks like already to be a massive mistake on the Reds' part for letting him go. The Colin Holderman trade made by the Mets last year for Daniel Vogelbach looks to be a little disaster right now for the Mets, as Holderman has turned into one of the best 8 men in the league right now. And just everything in general has been great. Yohan Ramirez has only shown up once, but was lights out and looks to be like the Cardinals once again traded a very good pitching prospect for half a season of Jose Quintana, who was just above average last year. And let's not even get started in some of the starting pitching here. A unit we all thought would be terrible with the likes of Mitch Keller, Vince Velasquez, Rich Hill, Johan Oviedo, and Wanasi Contreras has turned into one of the best, if not the best as of right now, starting pitching rotations. Mitch Keller, of course, like I said before, has actually finally shown up and turned into what all of the Pirates fans in 2019 thought he'd turn into. Johan Oviedo, a guy who everyone thought would be a bullpen pitcher at best, is now looking like a future ace of the team, and is striking people out with an insane slider that they cannot hit. Wanasi Contreras had a rough start of things, but is starting to heat up once again and looks like he has potential to be a starting pitching face of the future. Like Oviedo, Vince Velasquez started off awful, but as of late has figured out how to pitch against people with his slider and is now striking out a ton of people. This week against the Reds on Sunday when he pitched, he struck out, I think, 12 guys. It was 12-10. It was something crazy that if you're a Reds fan, you are embarrassed. Rich Hill has been up and down, however, he has come in the spots he needs to. And it's only going to get better for the Pirates by this point. Because by June here, they will have their prospects called up in Nick Gonzalez, Andy Rodriguez, and Quinn Priestor. Quinn Priestor looks to be like he can be will be their potential ace of the future. Nick Gonzalez can hit, and he is very good at hitting, and he should be able to play second base very well. Andy Rodriguez is most likely the catcher of the future, because Henry Davis will probably get moved to first, but both these guys are beasts, and they can hit very, very well. And even if you look farther in what the Pirates have in that prospect pool as of right now, there is a lot to be excited about. Tamar Johnson, the best prep prospect since Ken Griffey Jr. in their system, Bubba Chandler, Anthony Solamento, Leovo Porquero. If you just look at all these guys and just they have down there, you realize they have a lot of great potential. And there's many more prospects that I didn't even mention right now. But they are going to be a tough team to beat. This is a team that just in the future will be insanely tough to beat. And it's already showing this year. These guys are ahead of schedule. I thought this would be basically, for the most part, starting in around like June or July, we start seeing this. Nope, I was wrong. It's apparently in April because none of us know what exactly this is. And who knows if this is sustainable or not. But what the Pirates have done in this time and the way they have done it makes me think the contrary. That this is a team that can go out there and win games, and this is a dangerous team to face. Now, are they going to win the World Series? Obviously not. But do they have potential to make the playoffs? If they keep it up the way they have, I could see them definitely having a Bucktober for sure. And also, lastly, before we end this video, one more thing we have to talk about. This year's draft for the Pirates. They were the fourth worst team in the league, yet thankfully out of the draft lottery, they won the first overall pick. The potential first overall pick this year looks like the best prospect we have seen since Bryce Harper, and looks like a can't-miss generational talent in Dylan Cruz out of LSU. The Pirates basically have now just gotten themselves another face of the franchise, potentially. Yeah, the NL Central is pretty much going to be bowing down to these guys for the better part of the next 5 years until they sell off and trade everyone. However, right now, if you're a Pirates fan, sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. If you're in the NL Central, start crying because this is going to get rough for you guys. But this team is just a testament to show no matter how much talent you have, if you don't have the kind of guys who are willing to play their butts off every single day and work hard, you're not going to amount to much. And the Pirates have done that. They have worked hard. They may not have the most talent or the most skill, but they've played their butts off, and it shows in their record being the second best in the NL right now. And you know what happens when you do that? You get rewarded. And the Pirates have already started doing that with their players and coaches. Manager Derek Shelton, have a nice little extension here after this great win streak. Brian Reynolds, apparently near close to finally signing the extension, according to sources that just came out today. This is a team that is definitely not a hodgepodge of nothingness. They are a hodgepodge of something.